Time flies. I said time flies. Time flies. Time flies. Yeah. Time flies. Devin. Yeah. I said time flies. It's true. It feels like today was yesterday, and yesterday was Wednesday, and today is also Wednesday.
Oh God, why are we doing this?
Because he's right. He's right. Devin's right. How is it Wednesday already? Huh?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Can you imagine if that was just the theme? Just someone saying
great.
Fantastic sci-fi.
that's easily done. That's easily done.
Hey, what's up, you wonderful people? Welcome to another edition of Geektastic Sci-Fi. My neighbor is walking around with her dog on my lawn, and I'm making sure she's not letting that dog.
I was like, my neighbor's walking around usually naked is the thing that comes after that.
Is it?
But I was like, whoa.
Outside on my lawn?
Yeah, you know. I don't know what neighborhood you moved to, but let me know so I can buy a property out there.
It's
crazy.
It's been a wild week. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by saying rest in peace to Paul Mooney, who passed away today. For those of you who are listening live, and for those of you who are listening to this later, today is May 29th. What am I saying? Shit, man. You can tell I'm totally thrown up. May 19th, 2021, and Paul Mooney has passed away today. And it's
crazy because I always hear a lot of people saying they're influenced by him. I have no connection to Paul Mooney. Like if you even ask me to, I don't really know.
I feel
weird.
Like
I'm not. So he was like before my time, like before the comedy.
Yeah. I'll say our generation got introduced to him on Chappelle Show. That's where I think most of us. We saw him on.
He was Nostradamus or Black
Negrodamus.
Yeah,
Negrodamus, and he did Ask a Black Man. Right? I think that's the other name of the segment that he did. Yeah, and he was great. A lot of people will know him as one of the writers. He wrote a lot with Richard Pryor. He wrote on a lot of great shows. He wrote on Roseanne back in the day. He's probably been in a lot of writers' rooms. He's been in a lot of movies that you probably didn't realize. He was in Bamboozled for Spike Lee. Like, he's done stuff for years and years and years and years. I think one of my favorites was when the episode of Black Dynamite, the animated series, the Richard Pryor episode, where they have to go ask Paul Mooney to help them catch Richard because Richard won't perform on the Sunset Strip. And they go to Paul Mooney's house, and Paul Mooney is wearing a dashiki and puts on African neck dress and headpiece and is driving around in a Cadillac. And I thought that was one of the most hilarious representations of him. At least, and I'd already seen him at that point, so I knew who he was, and I got the joke because he's the joke.
Did he do a lot of stand up?
He did a lot of stand up back in the day. Him and Richard, he did a lot of stand up with Richard Pryor, but I think he wrote some of the biggest things for Richard. Okay, and I think that's possibly one of the reasons that.
So that's why he's a legend in the comedy community in that sense, right? He had such a big part. He played such a big part in Pryor's career, probably, and he was a writer, like you said, on a lot of big shows, right?
Yes.
But I don't, like I said, when I say I don't have a connection to him, usually comedians, I know them by their work, and his work I never actually went back to see what he was about. So, but Eddie Murphy mentions him a lot. Even Joe Rogan talks about him often, like Dave Chappelle, as you said.
And I think this has more to do with the fact that comedians in this generation have multiple platforms, right? You get to be a writer, but you're also on a sitcom. You're writing, you possibly have your social media on lock, you're constantly putting out content, and you're touring on the road. And you have a podcast. Like, that's comedians now. And that's kind of crazy to think. Like, can you think of what it would be like to be a comedian from the 70s and 80s trying to keep up this level of content?
So here's the thing.
Okay.
You first.
The ease of access to the platforms kind of makes it easier if you're good at what you do.
Interesting.
Back in the day, whether or not you're good at what you do, the opportunities weren't as as there weren't as many opportunities.
Okay.
Right? So everyone's fighting for that one thing. Everyone has that one thing they want. All one is SNL, right? That was the one thing everybody wanted back in the day for the longest time. All the big actors and comedians we know that all came out of SNL for the most part.
Madison Square Garden.
And then talk about the traveling and the touring to connect. Yes, exactly. Tonight Show. Yeah. Touring with your touring. Touring was your only thing you could do.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you made DVDs or albums.
I would like to see comedians of today survive back then. I think that would be more of an interesting flip on his head.
Impossible for some.
That's a valid point. That is a very, very good point. It's true. There's a whole bunch of because there was more gatekeepers, and now the gatekeepers can't lock you down.
No,
right?
there's no gate. The gate just turned into a floodgate now at this point.
But I also feel that there would be some comedians that would have actually potentially even flourished more. Like for example, like Robin Williams. Imagine Robin Williams being born today and having the access to like the internet and doing TikToks and shit. He would have.
I don't know if I would have taken him as seriously.
Well, I mean that's the thing. When
Robin Williams was doing Robin Williams,
He had stand-up and then he had silliness. He had stand-up and then he had Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
I mean, he also had a substance abuse problem. And I don't know if I get what you're saying. The silliness had a lot to do with his substance abuse issues, though. I feel, at least in my opinion. I don't know Robin Williams that way. I'm not saying like I know him personally. I think one of the things, though, is because one of the things I'll say this. I'll give you this point, Dave. He is one of the most talented entertainers. Because Robin Williams was able to flip the switch and do dark as well as he could do light. Like as well,
he had a palette, right? Like he knew
range.
Range. He knew how, like it's just like what's it called? Jim Carrey probably would have been someone who had would have maybe prospered in this generation as well. Now he doesn't do comedy. He surpassed that, but.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, we could also say Dave Chappelle has surpassed that in a sense, too, right? But
100%. Dave Chappelle did that a long time ago.
Right?
He's like, I've been tired of carrying this on my back.
Who do you guys think is one of the best examples of comedian who has bridged the gap between the two generations? Like, I think Chappelle's probably, other than Chappelle, because Chappelle's
but what generation, though, are we talking about? Because Chappelle was kind of like on the cusp. He was like on that.
When Chappelle started was when Chris Rock was still going. So
okay,
if you're,
do you want to know my first introduction to Chappelle?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nutty Professor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was the first time I knew who Chappelle was.
Yeah,
he was young. He'd barely done anything really at that point.
Yeah. Men in Tights.
Yeah,
Men in Tights.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights. Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie. It's
and then Half Baked came out, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" Yeah. And then I went to look, and then that's when that's when he really took off from Half Baked. How crazy is that?
For sure.
I would say. Oh, sorry. Go, Brian.
I would say real quick. I would consider him on the end. Him starting was the end of that generation. Like the Robin Williams, all those guys were kind of like weeding down and weren't doing stand-up much, and he was there. But he's also still hugely popular now when all these other kids are coming along. I mean, we saw the thing with him and Schultz. No, I mean, it's not a thing, but Schultz took a little bit of offense to the way Chappelle kind of dismissed when Joe Rogan was talking about Schultz on his podcast. And I don't think...
What was Chappelle's response? Because I stopped watching the video.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think Chappelle dismissed him. I think Chappelle just pointed out that what Schultz is doing now isn't what they were doing then and isn't the same thing.
Yeah, you can't compare it.
And he didn't know who Schultz was, and Joe Rogan is trying to describe Schultz, but to be honest, I think Joe Rogan did Schultz a disservice more than it was Dave talking bad about Schultz. Right. I think Joe Rogan described Schultz like a TikTok, Instagram comedian. And Dave was just like, that's not the same thing. And then Rogan realized why Dave was probably feeling that way and said, oh, but he's a stand-up. And Dave was like, okay, well, cool. Like, I didn't,
He doesn't know. He just doesn't know who he is. You can't get offended that Dave Chappelle doesn't friggin' know who you are. Like, chill out.
Yeah.
Like the fact that my name is still being mentioned on the podcast, be honest with you.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle mentioned you.
Yeah.
Right.
You could actually turn. Did he actually put out a post about him being offended? He could have flipped that easy.
I don't think he put out a post about being offended. I think his kind of reaction to it was just like, well, I don't feel that it was I don't feel I was fairly represented in that context, because he does think of himself as a stand-up comedian, and in that context, the conversation made it sound like he's an Instagram, TikTok celebrity.
Okay, yeah, I could see that, but at the same time, he could flip that into
like King Bach versus a stand-up.
King Batch.
Sorry, I was called
I mean, it's not. It's BACH. It's easy to see why you would think that.
Yeah, that's my mistake. I was.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. King Batch isn't a. I've seen King Batch do comedy in New York. It's
not a stand-up.
It's not a stand-up. He does more. He's just doing crowd work.
Exactly.
Which is fine. It was funny, but he wasn't doing He had like little bits here and there.
Yeah.
But to fill up the time, he was doing a lot of crowd work, which again, when you're starting out, I guess that's kind of, he was just doing the little club circuit tours, and I was in New York at the time. Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people like to say, that the social media comedians like to do crowd work because they don't have material. They don't have a 5, they don't have a 15. They have maybe 3 minutes, and then the rest of it has to be crowd work, because their whole social media presence is based on that type of crowd work.
It's also based on like quick 1 minute, 5 second, 7 second videos, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's quick bursts, So imagine, that's why I said you can't compare. Like, I would like to see.
Example, Tosh would never have survived back then.
No.
Oh my God.
The guy who does Tosh, no way he would have survived back then.
No. I haven't thought of Tosh in years. Sorry.
He's not even on my radar.
But to add a name to your original question, Brian, which is like, who do you think did a good job of like spanning over the generations?
At least
I don't think necessarily in per se his comedic, but in his overall like work, including being a producer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Sandler, I beg to say that he's there. I think he's made it that, because like he doesn't always hit it out of the park, but like,
now are we putting like what's the spectrum of comedian here?
That's the thing. That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, I was talking about stand-up. Like Dave Chappelle was doing stand-up at 19, and Dave Chappelle is doing stand-up now. And if you watch his special then and you watch his special now, he still kills.
And he's only gotten better.
Yeah. Adam Sandler, Jimmy Fallon, all those guys did stand-up back then. But if you ask them to do stand-up right now, no offense to those guys, I personally don't find their stand-up that good anymore.
No.
Maybe Conan.
I mean, shoot.
Conan doesn't really do stand-up.
I don't
but Conan does a good solid, like, I mean, because the other thing you have to argue is what is stand-up. When he's out there doing his monologue at the beginning of every episode.
He doesn't write those.
Yeah. Sorry,
man. He doesn't write all those?
No, it doesn't write any of those.
No, that's right.
No, man.
You think, oh, really?
He has I guarantee you, it's a room of writers, and he comes in and goes, "What's your joke? What's your joke?" That's what they do for the Emmys. That's what they do for all these shows, right?
Yeah. He probably helps a little bit, but
for sure, adds his Conan spin on it. But the thing is, when you do a show like that for so long, your writers know you. They know how you would say something and what you would say, so they know your voice exactly. So they would just write for you.
I can't think of anybody.
So we got Devin saying Chris Farley would have been good in this era. I think yes, because Farley was all about the physical comedy. I think one of the things we're noticing is a trend that the people with substance abuse would do well, which is interesting. Because we said Robin Williams, we said Chris Farley. Jay Grizz mentioned that Russell Peters. I don't know if I could say Russell Peters.
I saw one recently and it was nah.
Actually, I don't know if I consider him like what Italian guy.
But which guy? Sorry, Toby.
Sebastian. Sorry, I finished.
I don't know if I would consider him like a I don't know. I don't know if he's in that category for me. He had that one big moment, that one stand-up that just blew him up. And I haven't really like followed him since then, so I can't really speak on Russell Peters too much. I'm sure he's still huge.
That's the funny thing. I don't think for Canadians, he had that moment, and then he went off and started touring, and then he was still doing stadiums, but wasn't coming back home. So for us, it didn't look like he was doing as well because we didn't see him on TV. He might have been doing a few voices on shows here and there. We didn't see his radio bits and stuff like that, but he was still doing stand-up. And yes, but I think to what Jay Grizz is saying is like Russell Peters and that generation, the social media presence and the visibility is different. And maybe, I mean, you know,
but he came in again. I know where he started from, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But he came in at the cusp of, without the internet, I wouldn't know who Russell Peters is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He was right there. He was on the internet. He was right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. How else would you have heard? How else would you have heard?
So take it this way. If you take out the fact that he's Canadian and you have that first Russell Peters special that aired in Canada a lot, by the way, Comedy Network stuff. So take that away. As a Canadian, do you think you would have heard about him if it wasn't for the fact that as Canadians were exactly? That's my thing. Russell Peters got a huge bump from us as Canadians, and don't get me wrong, he was good. He deserved the bump. But I think that bump helped him launch because he was big in his own community, South Asian community. He did really, really well in Brampton. And then that South Asian community talks to all the other South Asian communities. He gets invited. Next thing you know, he's touring and he's doing shows all over the world. That's great. I think he's very talented. But I'm talking about in 2021, if you put a show, if you gave me a chance on one night to go see Dave Chappelle, Russell Peters, Adam Sandler, and whoever else we can name, we're all going to see Chappelle first.
Yeah.
And then between Russell Peters and Adam Sandler, I'm going to see Russell Peters, but I'm going to see Russell Peters more because he's more in line with my style of comedy, not because he's better than Adam Sandler, more because he connects with me more. I don't know him to be better than Adam Sandler. He's better than Adam Sandler to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I like a handful of his movies. I like Adam Sandler. I'm not even going to front.
Sure,
I like his stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that there was a period of time where people didn't like Adam Sandler and just started shitting on him. I was like, I don't get. It's not like
the internet, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, the internet is a source.
People just got weirdly bored with him and started making it sound like Adam Sandler was a bad comedian.
But he started doing like those strings of movies that are very niche, right? Like the Don't Mess with the Zohans. And like, you know, like which if you rewatch it, I kind of they're so dumb that they're funny. Like the Halloween one we just saw.
But I mean,
Hoover Halloween, or right?
Yeah, Herbie's Halloween. But you know, you give me Stiller. Stiller was also doing weird Zoolander movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell
was Stiller a stand-up?
No. No.
Stiller comes
his performance.
Yeah.
His family did like pieces and stuff. They didn't do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
His dad was it's that old-fashioned style of stand-up. Like before stand-up was stand-up. You had people like, you know, Abbott and Costello doing essentially stand-up, but they're just doing bits on stage.
Yeah.
Before he died and he was super old, but do you think George Carlin was? Because I heard a lot of young people, I don't know if they were fronting about being into George Carlin. I do too, because it was just matter of fact.
Yeah.
Sort of like this is how things are and you're an idiot and you're not kind of situation. I think he would have done okay.
Yes.
If he was a little younger with the same humor, you know, he would probably still be doing
And George Carlin would have called out, and that's the thing I respect, because George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney, those guys are all the same generation, and those guys will call people out on their bullshit. Like that generation of comics now with the social media, like if you think Dave Chappelle saying about Schultz, like, I don't know this dude, like sly comment, move on. Carlin, Pryor, or Mooney would have been like, I don't fuck with these niggas. They don't do this. That's what they would have said.
Right
That's what they would have said if we're being fair. Like, I don't, it's a completely different ballpark, you know?
I agree. Yeah. Someone who probably would have killed it if he didn't come back. And I feel like it's hard when you leave at the top like that.
Are we going to say it?
Eddie Murphy.
Yes, there we go. Eddie
if he had just
I don't know if he would have had longevity.
But the thing is, he has had longevity, right?
Yeah. He did. No, he did. But then he went very family. And I don't know if that would have went long term.
He had to go family because the man has 13 kids.
Oh, we know that, but I'm just saying, like,
he had to make money to raise the 13 kids.
And, like,
and the only thing that makes money is doing Dr. Dolittle 5 times, right? But I think stand-up wise, but the thing is, like, I understand why he never came back. If I were really like to look into it and go like, man, I'm making this much money. I'm making these kinds of movies now. I'm the voice of Donkey and Shrek. And now I'm going to come back and keep, like, I only know crude humor. Could I ever go back? You know, there's so many. I'm sure he wanted to come back.
But there's some people who are able to make that work.
Huh?
There's some people who are able to make that work, though. Like, for example, like Bill Connelly.
Oh, I think you're gonna say Bill Cosby. Bill Connelly. Who's Bill Connelly?
Bill Connelly. He's I
mean, I know the fact that I have to ask you who Bill Connelly.
Yeah, but that's not fair. That's just because he's British and you don't like them.
No.
Okay,
like British
John Cleese. John Cleese.
I know who John Cleese is.
I know who Bill Connelly is. I know exactly. He's the long-haired dude with the goatee that looks like a old-fashioned musketeer.
Exactly.
I know exactly who you're talking about, but you're talking about someone who's big in Britain. We're talking globally recognized. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the love, but like I'm talking about people that cross over. Bill Connelly, I know him because I'm a nerd who watches, Monty Python and all that stuff when I was younger.
I'm sure if I saw his face, I'd know who he is. The name doesn't ring a bell, right?
He was in the Did you see Boondock Saints?
Yeah.
He's the dad.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I would never know him as a comedian.
But that's what I'm saying.
Oh, his comedic stuff is great, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But we were asking who had longevity, though, right?
Yeah, but also, I mean, sure. But we're also
he's saying with the generation, like, let's be a little with today's generation and the past generation. You, Dave, technically, you're not like the kids today, right? So you have to think about it in that fashion.
Yeah,
like which comedian from then would be a big hit with the kids?
When I say today? Chappelle, I'm saying the kids on the Gen Z, the millennials, the Gen X, the baby boomers, and the silent generation will all watch a Chappelle special, and everyone will be like, "Okay, that's some crazy shit." Whether or not some of them might like what he has to say, every generation will watch a Chappelle special. How many generations? Okay, so let's do it that way. I named 5 generations. So let's give it 1-5. So Dave Chappelle gets 5 on 5 because you can't 100%. Tell me there's anyone in one of those generations 100%. That wouldn't watch him. Billy Connelly, I would say you're getting 3 on 5. You're not getting the millennials and you're not getting the Gen Zs.
What would you say about John Cleese?
3 on 5 also. I respect
I'd say easily 4 on 5.
Sure, let's say 4 on 5. Millennials will probably like him because of the Monty Python
but I also like Faulty Towers.
But he's also a very the reason why I think Bill Connelly and John Cleese would do good with today is because they are blunt.
Sure.
They do not give a fuck.
But the kids, that's
the things that kids would like.
Bringing it back to that today, if you look at TikTok, Instagram, the comedy that passes, I don't know if I would consider a comedy anymore. But it borders on ridiculousness more than seriousness.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if seriousness is what's going to be hot, but someone like Andy Kaufman might be a big hit with the kids today because of
Andy Kaufman would have blown up. The stuff he was doing with wrestling.
That's
now,
what I'm saying.
Media.
Yes, and back then it went over people's head. Imagine this past like 20
Andy
years.
Kaufman would kill.
Yes.
But he was already ahead of his time when he was in his time. They literally said you're 20 too early.
Yeah, he was.
So like Andy Kaufman, I want to give him a 5 on 5
for sure.
Because
100%.
I
man, that Man on the Moon movie with Jim Carrey was.
Yeah, but if we're using those examples, then I would say.
Well, I mean, those are the kinds of.
I would say Robin Williams.
We already agree with Robin.
Yeah, I
think Robin would have done.
Sorry. I thought we were restacking the.
We were saying George Carlin, yes. Paul Mooney, yes. Richard Pryor, yes. All the ones. Dave Chappelle. Yeah, I mean, I don't even.
You don't need to. Rock,
Chris
Rock.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm not. I always caught flack and heat for this, but I was just none of his shit hit for me, man. A lot of it did not hit for me. I just was never into it.
I love Chris Rock, so for me, I could see. But that's the thing. Chris Rock for me doesn't get the silent generation. But he's going to get the baby boomers. He's going to get the Gen Z, the Gen X. He's going to get millennials. He might get. I don't know if he gets Gen Z. I don't know if the Gen Z.
I don't
know. But that has more to do with his age.
Do you guys know who Sebastian Maniscalco is?
Yeah. I don't like him, but that's fine. I don't know why that he. I gotta ask.
I don't like him, but that's fine.
You gotta ask the question. Why is this man so popular? I've watched his specials. I hear people talk about him. He sounds like he's just doing clean versions of the stuff the Italian comedians were doing 20 years ago.
I think it's because I think it's his presentation. You either do or don't like his you're obviously someone who doesn't like his presentation. I think.
I don't like his jokes.
No, but the thing is, I find like I like his delivery to the jokes. I think some of his jokes are great and stuff. And I think how because he's like one of those like more physical comedians, right? Like he moves around and he talks, he uses his hands.
I
and
like
stuff
physical comedy.
Yeah.
But I think it's maybe that you don't like his presentation overall, because like some of his jokes are just funny based off of being funny, but
I don't like him.
I wish I like him. I can't quote him.
No, that's fine.
But like, I mean, I remember his you didn't like his generational joke though, about how people were like when someone used to visit before and how they are now, because it's such a true.
I mean, I feel like that joke was done by black comedians for like 40 years. Like everything I've heard him say sounds like something I've heard other comedians say when I was younger.
Okay.
He's just putting it under a different cultural flag.
I don't want to say that, because then people are going to say, well, are you accusing him of joke thieving and rewriting and not being original? And I'm not.
Yeah.
I like the same way that I'm sure if I watch every Chappelle, every Chris Rock, every Eddie, the jokes about black culture are good. Every Martin, every Eddie Griffin, every Red Fox,
Eddie Griffin. Was
all of them are
going to think about.
Yeah, Cat Williams, Kevin Hart. Every one of those comics has a joke about the black community and something in the ghetto. Even the ones that didn't grow up in the ghetto have a joke about something in the ghetto. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying they're taking from each other. They just all lived a similar experience growing up in some way or form, or faced some sort of situation like that. And that's, Kevin Hart doesn't seem like he grew up in that situation, but has a joke about his uncle coming out of prison and saying, "Say it with your chest." Yeah. It's like, that's okay. Cat Williams has a whole bunch of stuff about pimps and prison and, slick hair. Okay. Chappelle has a joke about. Chappelle doesn't even have a joke. His whole story about the book about the pimp isn't even a joke. It's a story that ends with a punchline, and that's
Yeah. So, there's more depth and layers to his storytelling.
Yeah,
man. Eddie Griffin also could have somehow continued to part. I don't know what really went wrong with Eddie Griffin.
Martin Lawrence, no way.
No.
Martin Lawrence was.
He was amazing. But yeah, he ends at millennial. The Gen Z.
Yeah, he does. But he gave Eddie Murphy a run for his money earlier on, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. He had a good couple, but then he didn't. No offense to him, but he didn't age with wine. He's just like Jerry Seinfeld.
I mean, he didn't age with wine or like wine.
Like wine. Sorry.
Okay. Like wine. I think when he started playing second fiddle.
I don't think Seinfeld would. I mean,
Seinfeld would not do
I saw one of his shows after, like when he was in like his 50s.
Didn't he just go on a run like a couple years ago?
And I'll say this: it was not good.
So I heard.
Like I don't get me wrong. I laughed a little and I got the comedy, but I'm like, you are literally talking to the people of your exact age group who've done more or less the exact same stuff you have done.
Yeah,
that's it. Like parents wise, and that was like,
and that's why Seinfeld, when I think back to the show, has more to do with probably the writing than it did with him specifically.
Martin is to Eddie what Busta is to Jay-Z. I would say what Nas is to Jay-Z.
Let's share that. Shout outs to Cray Prince. Martin is to Eddie.
I would probably say Busta. I mean Nas over Jay-Z. I kind of give. I don't know.
I don't get the exact.
It's
I don't want to be mean, but I don't know the beef, or if there is a beef, or
there's no beef. There's no beef.
It's like a hip hop thing. Like, it's a hip hop hierarchy thing. Jay-Z is the top. We all know that.
But because I like Busta, so where is he on the?
Busta's at the
in terms of top,
but he's not
close to the top. But Nas, I think, gets a lot more respect on, even though Busta's lyrical is all hell.
Yes.
Nas, because of his earlier works, for the most part, gets that respect instantly. And I think Martin Lawrence
is a whole other crazy conversation. The fact that this man invested as well as he did in early days and all this is crazy. When you look at that man's portfolio, if you guys want to look at someone who did well with their money, go look up Nas's investments.
Yeah, he's killing it. Quietly too.
Yes, yeah. He's not like 50, who's just like on the face of vitamin water so that his vitamin water stock would rise, and then he sold the vitamin. He's just like, I need this to sell so I can get rid of it. It's like, why?
Hey man, he capitalized on his heat. He was hot for a minute.
Facts.
He had Reebok shoes and clothing line, and he had everything going at one point.
That man was smart. But yeah, that's Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker is an interesting. Patrice O'Neal. Okay, y'all playing some serious games.
Hold on. Chris, let's start with Chris Tucker for a second.
Okay. Chris Tucker first.
Yo.
Do we want to talk about Chris Tucker though? Like, are we gonna be fair and honest about Chris Tucker? Because I have a few comments, and they're not as popular.
Really?
Yeah.
In terms of his comedy, or in terms of something else?
His comedy.
Okay. All right. I'll let you go then.
Chris Tucker as a comedian was all about. So, and I've had this conversation with one of my buddies. There's a difference between laughing with and laughing at.
Okay.
I laugh with Chappelle, right? I laugh at Kevin Hart.
Okay.
I laugh with Chris Rock. I laugh at Marlon Wayans.
Okay. You know why? Do you know why? You're drawing a line between a physical comedian and someone who's not. That's the difference here. Like the comedians you laugh at are the ones that are very animated and physical, and they're making you feel what they're feeling because they're acting it out.
Yeah.
The other side are people that sort of intertwine elaborate stories and make you like you're thirsting for that punchline by the time.
Great. But that's to me. And don't get me wrong. I still respect the Cat Williams. I still respect, but like Chris Tucker, great actor. Comedic actor, perfect comedic timing. What was the movie he did with Charlie Sheen?
Come on, man. Money talks, bro.
Thank you. Yes.
Is this what you want?
Yeah. Is this what you want? Money talks.
I really got that good high pitch going.
Dude, yeah, that was actually epic. That was fucking epic. I remember being like in high school.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Shout outs to Proto Man if Proto Man watches this or listens to this later. But Proto Man and I used to hang out at this spot called Black Lotus on Victoria up in Montreal and Uptown. That was like a nerd hangout where they had arcade in the back. They had consoles you could rent time on, and it was a cafe. And he had a huge big screen TV. And I used to just bring in movies and ask dude if I could put the movie on. And he let us put on, which you're definitely not allowed to do, right? Obviously, you can't just put movies on screens. I know that now. But he just let us put on Money Talks, and we watched that whole movie. We packed that place because word got out that it was playing. People started showing up from in the hood. Everyone was buying like a little drink, a little, a cookie or something, and everyone watched this movie. 2 hours. The place was
kills
that movie.
Annihilated.
It is
every scene.
So
the prison scene with what's his name? Oh my gosh, what's this actor's name now? Where he starts touching him and he keeps moving his arm but talking like he's getting hit on in the jail cell by why am I forgetting his name right now? He's a big black dude. I was gonna say he's huge, but big black dude. He's pretty well known. And Chris Tucker is like trying to tell him what's going on in his day and why things are going wrong. And the guy keeps trying to touch him and he's like moving his arm, but still continuing his story. Like, man, his Michael Jackson references in that movie. Dude.
Oh, okay. So I want to, because Toby, you replied. So real quick. And this is something that's come up in that Craig Prince wrote clowns versus intellectuals.
I don't like that.
No, and that's that, but that is what my buddy says to me, because my buddy always says, "You're saying you don't like the clowns." I get why you say it's disrespectful, but hey man,
But if you don't,
clowns and jesters is one of the longest running, next to escorts, one of the longest running businesses in the world. If you couldn't sell Nana, you were selling the jokes. That's what like back in the day. We're talking like medieval times. I'm talking kings and castles.
Faison Love. Thank you. His name was Faison Love. My gosh, how did I forget that? Sheesh.
Oh yeah, that dude
he was also a pretty decent comedian.
yes. He's a
Yeah, but
O'Neill's another one.
Yeah.
See
intellectuals, right? Yeah. Bill Burr. Where you classify Bill Burr?
Yo, it's funny you say that because I had a conversation with him. I like Bill Burr.
I love Bill Burr. I'm sorry, I do.
Yeah, because Bill Burr is this white dude that makes jokes about being married to a black woman that I'm just like, yo, you're lucky she don't snap you in half.
But they hitting.
Oh,
he's honest. He's honest. He says it like it is. And when he speaks up for something, he speaks up for it. Like he's unapologetic. Yeah. Like he's not saying anything monumentally destructive. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can go back to Patrice O'Neil. I just wanted to know, Bill Burr doesn't really fall on the intellectual clown side, though. He's kind of like somewhere closer to intellectual, but he's more of a fact giver.
Yeah.
But that's why you hate Maniscalco, by the way.
Because he's a clown?
Why? I find he's a clown.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, that's why. But
there's some clowns he enjoys more than others.
That's what I'm saying. I enjoy Cat Williams. Why don't I enjoy Sebastian? And Cat Williams, if we're going to talk about clowns, don't tell me the man comes out in a pimp suit with a slick back Jerry curl or a permed out hair is not the biggest clown of the clowns.
The man who's named Slickback.
The man who fought a teenager in a field is the biggest clown there is, and I still like his comedy, but I don't enjoy Sebastian. So that has to be something. You got that. I don't know what it is.
Let's leave Sebastian in the background. Patrice O'Neil.
I just want to see the reaction.
He is,
Yeah,
legend.
I mean, yeah. I met him. I told you guys a story about it. I met him, and then
did you?
Yeah, where we were in New York, and I saw him on the street, and I couldn't remember his name right off the top of my head because I was, you know, when you're in New York and you see celebrities, there's that moment of like you kind of freeze up because you're like, shit, like you stutter in front of them because you're just like, I've seen you.
Froze the hell up when I saw 50 Cent in the gym.
Of course,
like I was like.
Right? Because sometimes meeting celebrities, like, and it also has to do with age.
It's so unexpected, right? Like you're just going about your day. I woke up in the morning, went up to the gym, and then boom, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's 50 Cent.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, I meet Jeff Daniels on the street in New York outside the West 3rd New Era Cap store, and I wasn't shook. I was just like, "Oh shit, homeboy from Dumb and Dumber." Like that's
funny enough. Dexter walking past my work in Toronto, and I had the same thing. He was with his wife. And I just saw him. I was like, "Hey, have a good day." It's like you too, and that was it. I felt nothing. I was like, "Oh, there's Dexter."
Harvey Keitel outside of BB King's in New York. I'm standing there in line to go into Ninth Wonder Jamla Records showcase for CMJ, and I'm standing there and I see Harvey fucking Keitel walk by, and I'm like, "Hey, Harvey," and he's like, "Hey, man," and he just kept walking, and that was it.
Really?
How is it? Yeah, so
I would
that's
have
a weird phenomenon.
Harvey Keitel,
right?
I would have freaked out. I would have actually freaked out a bit.
I think it's funny to see which celebrities make people react. Right? It's pretty interesting.
Because I was excited to see him, but I didn't freeze up. But
same. I didn't go for like my phone or for a photo. Exactly. I was like, it was like 7:30 in the morning on my way to work, in front of work, locking up my bike. He was in Toronto shooting something. His wife was there. They were walking to get coffee or something. It was like, and I was just like, "Oh, hey, morning. But you guys have a great day." And he was like, "You too."
100% froze up with Patrice O'Neil. And then when I saw him later on, I was with a group of girls, and then he stopped and he was willing to talk. And his reaction was just like, "Oh yeah." I was just like, "Yeah, I'm sorry about earlier." He's just like, "Yeah, sorry, man, nigga, you smile too much. You big ass smile. We standing on the street in New York. You see a nigga come up to you and smile like that. You wonder like, oh, what's about to happen?" And I was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man."
You smiled.
And then I was just like, "I'm Canadian." And he's just like, "Oh, that shit makes sense." And then he just
you smile too much.
That was like
so funny because to you, like smiling is like polite, like you're like, yeah. Even though I don't know who you are, I'm gonna give you that smile.
How would I not smile at Patrice O'Neil if I'm meeting Patrice O'Neil? I'm not gonna mean mug Patrice O'Neil. That seems more dangerous.
That's probably even worse.
That seems more dangerous.
Patrice O'Neil was huge, dude. I met the dude. Don't get me wrong. I'm not tall. I'm 5'9.5". I live by that half. Trust me. But Patrice O'Neil was like 6 something, and I'm looking up at this dude, and I'm smiling like, "Hi," and he's just like, he just walked away, and I was like, "Oh." But then when I was with girls, he stopped.
Funny.
And then obviously he hit
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
It's amazing that you guys have had all these I've only had one almost interaction with a celebrity.
Oh,
really?
Wait, almost through a window?
Because what happened was I was going to a Alexis on Fire concert, and it had my friend. So this is many years ago, and me and my friend had a thing where we started challenging each other to go to concerts that the other person didn't know. But like, this is great music, you should just come. And my friend wanted me to go see Alexis on Fire. So I go buy the ticket and everything. Everyone goes inside. I'm like, I'm really hungry. It was at Metropolis, so I went to the pizza place across the street. And I'm standing beside a dude. I don't really look at him in any regard, but I noticed his hands, like, they're full of tattoos. And from the corner of my eye, I could see that he has like some type of backstage pass, something like, oh, this guy's going to the same show. Good for him. We both sit on opposite ends of the restaurant in like our own booths, but our booths were like as if we were sitting across from each other.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I look up, I'm like eating my pizza, and like I'm not staring at the guy, but I'm looking up from time. I'm like, man, he like kind of looks familiar. Later on, I go into the show. Alexis on Fire comes on. Dallas Green walks right in front of me. I see his hands. I'm like, no.
Oh, that's funny.
No. I was like,
we'll count
everyone's jumping around, and I'm just like this. I'm like,
we'll count it. That's a good encounter.
That's funny.
Freaking out. And my friends are like, what's wrong? I'm like, I could have had pizza with Dallas Green.
You probably wouldn't have had, because he would have been
obviously not. But in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck? We shared a pizza from across. Like, he left at the same time I did. It was
that's hilarious.
We shared a pizza from across the way.
I was tripping out.
That's
I was
definitely
also drunk at the time. But.
That's funny. Man, you know who? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, what were you saying?
Because we're gonna jump over to View the Right Thing after this.
So there is someone who might have done well today, and the reason he probably didn't do well before was because of his timing and his burst of comedy.
Okay,
Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, I don't even know Mitch Hedberg.
He was very one-liner. Like, he would have lots of quiet in between different bits, but he was a very, like, you know, man, what's an example I can give? And I'm sure people watching us right now know who Mitch Hedberg is, but he was very like he was just very he would have probably done better in like this 1 minute world where like you put out a quick little clip and he would have killed it, I think, in this generation. Just wanted to toss that one out there. I think he's dead now, right?
Yeah.
I think he might have passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that to say, guys,
one last one. Rodney Dangerfield. I want to hear this one. Rodney Dangerfield.
That was a Rodney Dangerfield sound too, by the way.
Yeah. Exactly. That was kind of ironic.
I don't get no respect.
I don't know if Rodney Dangerfield, because one of the problems with that specific style of comedy and that act is he was always in character. And I mean, you'd have to like, sure, I guess you could do that with social media, but you'd always have to stay in character. And that seems like a lot. So maybe he could do it, but it depends on how much he'd be willing to sacrifice of himself. Like, because your life becomes a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but all this to say, rest in peace to Paul Mooney. Great conversation about stand-up comics. We appreciate that you were part of the comedic sphere. In a time where comedy really blew up, you got to help guide it and help the course of where it went, and a whole generation of comedians speak highly and say your name as an inspiration. So, you know, we pay respects and condolences to his family for the loss. View the Right Thing, kids. We're about to get a potentially very confusing story from Dave about some wrestling. I
just want to say this because I know a lot of people.
Let's actually save it, because hopefully Skinny can show up. Oh no, but you got to bounce so soon too, eh?
No, I got confirmed. I don't have to bounce. I don't have to.
Because Skinny, like, Toby, I'm not gonna speak for you, but I'm not trying to be mean. I don't give a fuck about wrestling, guys.
No, I know, but I'm not saying this. I don't even want to talk about this, but just I want to explain to you guys, because I'm more curious your guys' reaction.
I don't want to talk about it. I want to explain to you.
No, but I want to explain to you what happened, and I'm curious your guys' perspective.
All right, Dave.
From whether or not purely this is a good idea, because someone can't say that this was a good idea. No one in my mind could say this was a good idea.
Okay.
So let's strip away everything. You're just going to describe something to us and ask us if so this is like when we used to do on That's Canon elevator pitch. You're going to give us the actual.
Give us your best. Like, give us a good one too. Don't just
I'll try.
Don't make us want to hate it. Make us want to like it.
Yeah, make us want to love it.
This is just like back in the show.
No pressure.
For anyone who's listening, Dave's face when we said "make us love it" looked like petrified. Like, oh, I did not plan for it.
All right.
Sweats from here right now.
All right. So I hit up the elevator. I stopped my boss. I stopped Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon had to approve, which is even more ludicrous. But so he's like, okay. So you know how Dave Bautista, someone who's not on our roster at all and doesn't really work for us and has trash talked us in the past. You know how he's coming out with a movie?
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And there's zombies in that movie. Like, all right. Well, I think a way that we could get some of that money is if we have a match. Is Bautista going to be there? Hell no. Is anybody who's going to be actually worth? Not that they were bad wrestlers, but like you would need a very higher.
I'll ask
level
you this.
Wrestler to get the.
Okay, Batista's not there. Anyone else from the movie able to come in?
No.
Okay, so we're going into
now. So
we have the most popular wrestlers already have matches. So who are we getting?
We're getting guys who are pretty at the mid card, a guy who just started, and a guy who, although he used to be here, we've relegated him to here, and for the last 6 months have been making a comedy act out of.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to put them in a ring with Lumberjacks, and the Lumberjacks are zombies.
Oh, okay.
And then
you're still muted.
Me or okay. So then what we'll do is at the end of the match, so halfway through the match, they're going to fall outside the ring and they're going to not want to fight each other, even though they've been fighting each other because they're going to fight all the zombies. Are they going to kill the zombies? Hell no. Okay. They're gonna push them away.
Wait. Hold on. So are they just decoration? Are they just standing there? What's the
purpose of a lumberjack is to make sure the people who are fighting always stay in the ring.
Okay.
Oh, so they just so when they fall out of the ring, instead of fighting each other, they just look around and are scared of the zombies and team up against the zombies to go back in the ring to finish the match. In which case, the last person who we need to write off a TV, he's going to be eaten alive.
Wait, hold on. Remember, I'm Vince, and this is McMahon. McMahon, did he just say we're going to have one of our guys eaten on TV by fake zombies?
I think I heard him say that. So how would we get this to pass on live TV? Is there a live audience?
No, we are in a digital. We don't have live audience. We have the screens with the people who call in, and they can like how we're doing now. That's how they're watching.
I see. Okay. So we can TV magic this whole eating thing.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we don't actually see the blood. We'll just get enough guys that go in, and we'll cut away when there's enough zombies to hide his body, and then we're gonna say that he's eaten and killed, but he's gonna come back in like 9 months. Not dead.
And where's the wrestling in all of this?
Yes.
Oh, they wrestle. But all these things will happen around them so that while they're wrestling, like we're going to make them like put their face close to the edge of the mat and they're going to be like, oh no, the zombies, because zombies are real.
Hold on.
So wait, are we trying to compete with the movie or are we trying to
we just think that this is good for the business. This is good for the business.
Sorry, Vince here with a question. Sorry, McMahon. Give me 1 second. I just want to ask something. Are you fucking crazy? That's what I'm saying. Why would I
sounds so stupid?
Like,
I have because we're not a show, we're not a TV show. So one of the things, I'm gonna step out of my Vince character for a moment. I'm gonna jump back.
I think I was in and out the whole time.
I saw this and I was like, by the way, I did not watch the full match. I 1.75 that shit hardcore.
Can someone explain to me why I get hate for when I say the kayfabe thing is falling apart? Yet these because they're doing zombie fights. Can someone? Why am I the bad guy? When
I'm trying to think if we've had. I mean, man, wrestling has done some pretty ridiculous shit over the years.
Sure, but they've always stayed within the realm of this is the real world. They didn't introduce. Well, that's not true.
I was gonna say they've done the whole voodoo guy. They've done.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is one thing that upset me. A wrestler on the roster who is like, he's been around a long time. He's respectable, sure.
Yeah.
He went online to defend this match by comparing this stupid concept to like, oh, you're just judging zombies because I mean, we have other zombies like the Undertaker that you guys love, and I'm like, how dare you compare the Undertaker to that? I was going to
say that. Even if he was a zombie, even if that was his persona, he was still a wrestler.
Yeah.
He still factored into the equation in some way.
Because I was going to say, Dave, I actually was just about to say, if I'm going to say a man,
it was Chris Jericho defending it, wasn't it?
No, it was an MVP.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry, because I have to be honest, if I'm going to say, because that's why I was saying for a second, I don't remember them doing magic, but then Toby pointed out, yeah, we have. And I was just like, that's true. The entire introduction of Undertaker is predicated on the fact that the Undertaker has come back from the dead. And his most of his run, because he does change at some point, he becomes the Rocker on a motorcycle for a bit, but also, and he kind of, we kind of lose the whole that he's dead, back from the dead thing. But in the early days when he started, his character was meant to be a dead man back to the living.
Agreed. But you had, first of all, build up, because originally how they did it, they made him an Undertaker as like, the Undertaker of dealing with a dead body.
Yeah.
And then he had a buried alive match. And then he's the dead man and all that stuff. Yeah. But like, you had like, what, 8 years to build that up?
Yeah,
and this, from my understanding, I mean, like, I don't really watch the show. I don't watch it.
I'm watching clips right now. This is bad.
I don't, but I didn't. There was no. It was announced like that night, the zombie part.
Yeah,
or the week before, and you're like, how can you compare a week? You're comparing the concept of like a gimmick match to like one of the best storied careers ever. All due respect,
I agree.
You're a wrestler. Like, fuck you. Like,
I agree. Hey man, you're speaking to a choir of the converted here.
Hold on. Okay, this was a stupid move on their part.
Why? What happened?
It was to promote the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did say it was to promote the movie, but to what? They're other than getting commercial money, like they don't have anybody on the roster in that movie.
Yikes. Yeah, this was a wow.
Like, you're doing Dave Bautista a favor for what?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask. Because usually when they do these crossover type things and to promote with former wrestlers, especially if it's starring a former wrestler, the former wrestler either shows up or
so they showed a tweet from Batista right before the match went down, saying he couldn't make it, but some of his friends will. And I guess that's when the zombie showed up.
I'm out. Back in my Vince character.
Wow, this is so stupid. This is so.
If we can't get Batista to come, we shouldn't do this. Oh, we can get him to tweet and say, "I sent my friends," and that's how we get the zombies. You're fired. That's what I.
Vince. This is Mike Staples, the CEO of the stupid ass movie franchise. We'll pay you an extra $10 million.
Yeah, oh, cool. Put it on. Put
it on twice. Like, right? Like, this is like.
I'm positive. That's all this is.
You're giving me $10 million. Make it 15. I'll do this 2 times.
So like I said, I didn't want to talk about even this much, but I knew it'd be an interesting conversation even for you guys. Like,
I like this. I don't want to talk about it, but I'll explain it segment.
Yeah.
I want to bring this back.
Like, that's it. I'll do it all week. Like, it's fucking stupid.
That is crazy.
That's a wild story.
That's so
wrestling does not make sense anymore.
Like, I used to love wrestling, but at a certain point, like, I don't know.
I like good wrestling, but it's so hard to find it. And the problem
it is hard to find it now.
It's like, you don't have shows that have good wrestling the whole way through. You have shows that have the characters that you want to see because you know they could do good wrestling.
Right.
That's the problem.
super quick in like one sentence, can you tell me, is AEW doing well?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Like the thing that I find the irony about this is that a lot of people were judgmental for them. They had a match last week, which was like a match with like 2 rings attached to them and a big cage over it, right? Okay. And the match was phenomenal. But at the end, Chris Jericho gets pushed off the top of the cell or whatever, and he falls onto this area that, like, obviously there's some mats underneath it, but like the fall was believable. And people are like,
hold on. I got too distracted. I'm sorry. I was listening to you, but then I saw the word toes, and I was like, "Wait, what am I reading?" Wrestling is only toes.
I think I know what he's trying to say. That might have been an autocorrect.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I would like to ask if Mr. Prince could confirm if toes meant to start with an H, and
yeah,
that was hella distracting. Yet hilarious.
Because if it was for the toes, that's even more questionable. Because it's not many bare feet people on the
someone out here still waiting for Yokozuna to come through with some bare feet like back in the day. You creeps.
He's also watching a wrong sport. There's plenty of toes in the UFC if you're trying to see that.
True.
In regards to Devin,
I'm not putting that
money. They're not in the red yet. So at least not what they showed.
If you guys are listening to this and you want to see what Mr. Prince, you gotta go online and watch the YouTube, kids. That's your prize this week.
Follow the chat.
I'm not putting that on.
I'm gonna have to go when uploading this video. Not made for kids. I'm gonna have to check that box.
My god. Okay, well, WWE and all the wrestlers out there in the world. I mean, congrats. You somehow, when the world shut down, you guys got to be counted as essential workers and continue to do wild stuff. So kudos to you for being able to continue and write very crazy stories. I mean, I'm not even saying that sarcastically. It's impressive that you guys continued and are writing things this weird and everyone and still making so much money. I'm envious. I'm not gonna lie, because if I could write, because it doesn't sound like you're putting that much thought into the writing. To be honest,
it's more like they're attaching ideas to like darts, and they're shooting them at a dartboard. Whoever gets like the closest to the center gets it. Like
I wonder, like writers for WWE, can you put that in your resume and say you want to go write for a TV show?
100%.
Say, speaking of bad writers, Bad Batch, not impressive this past week.
It was a little slow, but I was actually more.
I haven't watched it yet. 2 episodes, 3 episodes.
I think 3.
Or 4.
But the first episode is an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the other episode is 22. So we're like 4 or 5 episodes in.
But I do feel that it confirms one of my suspicions. Because they haven't said what the girl, what's her name?
Omega.
But
they haven't Australian, so she pronounced it Omega.
Yeah. But they never confirmed what her power is, right? They all have powers, right? That's the whole point of the Bad Batch. And they've already said that she has something, but she seems normal. I'm pretty sure she's Force sensitive.
Yeah, I could see that. I could very much.
I'm 100%. Like, she's either Force sensitive or she's going to become some type of Jedi, but not.
How do you clone Force sensitivity into a person?
I don't know.
I thought you had to have midichlorians and.
Oh no! Don't you dare!
So you mean they kidnap a child and inject her with midichlorians? I'm down with that. That's some twisted shit. I'm down with that.
Oh my god!
Who's writing the Bad Batch, and why is it connected to this? I thought they were doing good in the Star Wars world.
You know what? Let me rephrase. It's not bad writing. It's just slow. It's the first season buildup. It's very much all the same stuff that we talk about with all these other shows. When seasons first start off, things are a little slow. The writing feels a little slow. You're trying to establish stuff. And I'm guessing if I'm Disney and I work at Lucasfilms, we had this whole run of Clone Wars, and we don't want people to feel like, there's so much for you to catch up on so that you can be invested in this. And that feels overwhelming. The same way that we tell some people when it comes to Marvel, we don't want you to have to watch all 22 movies plus Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. plus, technically the Netflix series, but not technically the Netflix series because those don't. Sorry, Skinny jumped in and he's in a bunker, and that shit threw me off like crazy.
Yeah.
Skinny
what is this like bomb?
Hold
Yo,
on,
it's my background. What do you mean?
Skinny found out the apocalypse is happening, got into a bunker, told us he was going to be late, and is out here. The rest of us out here in the real world while he's safe, and that shit scares
Guy's
me.
in a fallout shelter by the looks of it.
Yeah, fallout shelter. That's it.
Respect for coming through, though, man. It's just
welcome back. Welcome.
Yeah. If I'm Disney, I'm not going to want to make people watch all of Clone Wars to be interested in watching the Bad Batch. And I think
is that what it's looking like?
Yes. I feel like the reason it's a little slower is they're having to build back a little bit of the lore for all those Mandalorian fans who jumped on and don't know much about the stuff from Rebels and Clone Wars.
Crazy. That's how I felt about a lot of the Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff.
Which is what we
Yeah. Okay.
I
get that.
I understand it too. I'm not mad at it, and again, this comes down to the fact that like when we as fans know this stuff already, it makes it hard for us because we're like,
I just hope that the payoff is more than the anguish I'm feeling in the current moment by having to go sit through this you know thing that I've seen before. I do want to watch the Bad Batch, but I also have a lot of Clone Wars catching up to do though. So
you
definitely have to watch that first.
Yeah, I don't want to. That's right. That's why I'm waiting.
Yeah. And if you have time, I would recommend watching Rebels.
Yeah. If anything, Bad Batch is the last one.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's fun for us as Star Wars fans because that's just I would enjoy having to. There's like if you told me, to watch this show, and because you're actually a fan, I would recommend watching this and this before you go in. You're you're giving me like 20 hours worth of stuff to watch. Done. I'll watch a little bit over time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not going to tell a noob who just watched Mandalorian. And no offense to noobs, I'm not saying it in a derogatory way.
No,
it's just you didn't watch this stuff before, and Mandalorian was so good, you jumped on. Welcome to the wagon. We want you here. Only makes the wagon longer and the fandom bigger. Welcome. Geektastic Cypher is not about gatekeeping. That's one thing we've always prided ourselves on. We like that you guys are fans with us. That's why we like doing this show. So I'm excited.
The more the merrier. The more we can have conversations about. Like the more 100%. People are watching the same shit, the more we can talk about the same shit.
Yo, if y'all are listening to this podcast and have never watched a Star Wars show, feel free to jump in and watch as many episodes and ask us questions. We're not the type of people that's one of my things. I know so many nerds out there that like don't want to answer questions, or if they do, they give such insane detailed answers. And I feel like one of our advantages as hosts is we don't give like unreasonably long answers. Like, why
the topic sometimes.
It does depend on the topic.
I mean, you guys, Kobe tried to explain how whatever that fucking show last week was good, and in 30 minutes, you guys proceeded to
do not put me. See what you did, Doc? He was the one trashing the show. I didn't want to disagree with the things he didn't like because I'm like, I kept saying I could see why you don't like it. I understand why you could feel this way. I know the source. I was just trying to play the empathy, the whole, But I also told
you guys tried to make that in 5 minutes. They turned it to half an hour.
It was a half an hour long discussion.
I would like to point out that wasn't us explaining about something geeky. That was us hating something poorly done.
No, that was you hating something.
we hated
Thank you, Skinny. Thank you, Skinny.
We disliked something and took a long time to explain.
I don't think we explained anything. It just went on. It just was,
Again, you say it with the we. Again with the we.
You know what I'm saying?
You with the we. There's no we.
River's legacy. I know it definitely has a lot of people torn because Anyway, we're not gonna go back to it. I don't know why you brought this up, Dave.
I
haven't.
I got comedic relief. That's what I did. That's what I got.
In the past week, I haven't really watched anything new. I've been catching up on The Expanse. I'm on season 4 now of The Expanse. That show is wild.
Wonderful.
Show. I
What's
love
that
it.
About?
It's space opera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great
It's really
space opera, Canadian made, got canceled after 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And then Amazon picked it up. It was on Sci-Fi. Amazon picked it up, continued it, and now it's
really really good. The story, like if you want, wow, it's all you want in a space. It's everything you want in a space show or movie. Like it's everything.
So it's Saga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, I mean, that's yes. With the day they make Saga into it, man.
Saga, how hard would it be, dude? That's gonna be an expensive ass show to make.
I want to. Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say this to you.
$100 million per episode.
Facts. The person out there, if you were watching this one day down the road and you were the person that worked on bringing Saga to the fans on the big screen or live action, I'm saying to you, whatever you did, congrats on taking on one of the most difficult stories I could ever imagine trying to translate, because there are so many moving parts to that story that your job was insane. Dude. And the fact that you haven't hurt yourself in some way by now is an impressive feat. So,
I think it's one of, if not my favorite Brian K. Vaughan story.
Easily.
Yeah.
But it's like everyone makes it sound like, oh, it's so simple. It's a space opera. They're in love. There's a war, star-crossed lovers, a baby, some killing with the sword,
bounty hunters, and that look like spiders,
and all this stuff. And it's just
robot head princes. Dude, yo,
I'm telling you,
it's so good.
I'm telling you,
it's so good.
Whoever you are, even you might not even be born yet, but one day
you might not even be born.
Yo, we don't know. It might take another 20 years. 2041, we finally get, because they stopped making the comic is the other thing. So people are just like, when are you coming back? You haven't made the comic in how many years? So
it left it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
I never got to the end.
I think I don't want to say it then. But,
so
yeah.
Okay.
It literally ends on a cliffhanger, a pretty big one too, from what I remember.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh Lord, that's
how big of a cliffhanger? Like Spider-Man 1994, Let's Go Find Mary Jane cliffhanger, or like
pissed me off.
Or like reboot season 4,
reboot
type of,
because you didn't see it coming.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
Wow.
We were all excited when reboot changed. And you're like, "Yo, Enzo is like, all that shit." Yeah, no. And then Bob comes back, but he's like, dude."
I'm talking about when Megabyte took over the principal office. He's like, Mega.
Yeah, you get the movies for that. That gets answered, no?
No,
does it?
No, because technically, My First Bob happens, whatever, and then he meets Damon Rising, and then Megabyte takes over Mainframe, and then it just ends.
Yes. It does. It abruptly ends when because doesn't he get out? Doesn't he pretend to be Bob? He pretends to be Bob.
He pretends to be Bob. He does a bunch of stuff. Like this is after him becoming Kilobyte with hexadecimal and all that stuff. And then they separate them. He's in prison. What? He's all pretending to be good. And then he comes out and he's like, "Yeah, I'm shutting this shit down." And like,
I don't appreciate Jay Grizz's comment.
What do you say?
He said, "You guys put it up.
Skip it. We got other stuff to discuss.
Let's
talk about. So I watched HBO Max's That Damn Michael Che show. Sketch comedy show. I highly recommend it. If you guys are looking for something hilarious, if you guys are looking for something wild, I would say go watch it. Michael Che is so, because the show was filmed during the pandemic, the interlude segments that Chris Rock did, Chappelle did, Key and Peele did, all those shows do in between, where they kind of just talk to the audience and stuff, or do a little bit of stand up. You couldn't do it because of the pandemic. So the way he did it is it's just him being filmed, talking to the crew with like a backlight, different colors every episode, and he's just kind of telling stories and being funny. Chopping the shit. It was good. I thought it was good. I found those segments a little weird, but ultimately the theme throughout every episode was great. You see a whole bunch of his SNL crew come through. Heidi playing a Russian prostitute was weird but funny. Who else was in it? Colin Jost playing Michael Che in Michael Che's dream was funny. Like just a whole bunch of crazy random stuff that was well worth it. The jokes are funny. The writing's good. Check it out. Honestly, that and a black lady sketch comedy show, and what's the other one? I think those are the two that I've been watching recently.
Black Lady's Back.
Yeah, season 2 has been great, man.
That was my favorite shit last year. Oh my gosh, I love that.
At this point, and I feel like Issa Rae should just be considered part of the cast because she's in 3 out of the 5 episodes that came out so far.
Really?
Yeah,
she wasn't in it at all last year. Maybe 1 episode.
Well, she did 1 episode, yeah, but she's a producer.
Oh well, then she should just be in the show.
Just put her in the show. Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny show.
Are they continuing that skit when they were like at home drinking wine and it's the end of the world?
Yes,
they continued it. Oh my gosh.
Well, they flip it. They flip it because Quinta's gone.
Not seeing your face.
Yeah, and having
they did it. Yes.
You can't show the bunker off anymore, man.
That's fine.
But it is pretty funny because like if you watch the show and if you know the behind the scenes stuff, Quinta had to leave because she has a new show coming on ABC called Abbott's Elementary or something. She's elementary school teacher.
Which one's Quinta?
Sorry,
which one's Quinta?
Quinta Bronson, the smallest, the shortest comedian that was on the show.
Oh, the one with the church, the one who did the church. Why are you putting damn man, I know you're talking about.
She's funny. Quinta's really funny. She's a great comedian. And Homeboy, who starred in Everybody Hates Chris, is playing opposite her on this new show. So
she's leaving. Well, that's the end of it for me.
She left. She's not even leaving. She left. She already has her ABC show. The pilot for her ABC show just came out. That's something I'm going to talk to you guys about. Pilot season has started. So if you guys are looking for trailers, after this episode's done, I'm going to share on our page and in our Twitter. If you guys follow us, make sure you follow us on our social medias because we're going to have it up on Twitter and whatnot. At Geektastic Cypher, you guys can follow, and I'll put a thread to all the trailers that I have because I already created a playlist on YouTube for all of them. And then that's
Speaking of new shows, not really new, but a show. Mythic Quest is back.
Yes, I'm very. Have you already watched the first 3?
I've watched a couple, few minutes.
Okay.
I haven't watched a couple episodes. I watched a few minutes, and I'm gonna wait. Because I don't want to just watch it in blocks.
I know.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm not watching that show is because I want multiple episodes to come out so I can watch multiples at a time. Because that's
Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet. Raven's Banquet?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's
Mythic Quest is fun, man. And supposedly the latest episode is written by one of the actors on the show.
Oh, nice.
The gamer girl with the not the black one, but the I think
with the glasses
Asian one.
Yeah. She's
Ashley.
Yeah. That's cool.
But she wrote the episode, and it's the one where they're the 2 stars are playing king and queen, and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. So
is Abed is still on it, right?
Danny Pudi, yeah,
he's Danny Pudi.
He's funny. This is one of his best characters because Community, he was. I mean, once you see this actor act, and you realize he's not on the spectrum. He was just a good actor.
That's so true. Dude, that's true. Ahmed was just so weird.
Yeah, man.
Weird.
I mean, that's good acting. If you do such a good job that I secretly think this nigga's on the spectrum for real.
Yeah.
And then you just see him acting on other shows. You're just like, oh no, he's not on the spectrum. He was just that good of an actor. Okay, cool. I'm down.
It's crazy that it was created by Charlie Day, right?
Yes.
And Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, they made that shit? I need to watch it.
That stars Rob McElhenney only. Charlie Day doesn't star on the show.
So it stars which one's Rob? Oh, that's okay, yeah.
It's good. Yeah. It's a good show. It's pretty funny.
It stars Mac. It stars Mr. Fantastic. I'm still putting that out
there. It's literally like Uber. I was gonna say Uber. Ubisoft starting out.
It is. But it's funny because they reference Ubisoft. The Montreal office.
It's based on a video game company and them starting out and stuff.
Yeah, it's funny though. I like it.
It's really funny.
These guys, I don't know about that. I don't know about Mac starring in another show that's not It's Always Sunny. I don't know about that.
Why not? He does a great job. You got to watch it.
He kills it. It's really good. But it's completely different. He's not Mac.
Yeah.
He did such a great job with Mac that you think he's always Mac.
No, dude, honestly, and in real life, he's a little bit Mac because he does interviews, and I'm like, okay, you definitely have Mac qualities in real life, but then you watch this show and you're just like, oh no, you can actually act. That's why I keep subtly saying if Homeboy decided to be serious and wanted to be Mr. Fantastic,
Mac?
He would kill it.
I
do a good job. Yeah,
yo,
man.
I could see it. Just
He's
a little.
got the physique for it now too.
Yep. Yeah, because he slimmed down his tone. He's still toned, but he slimmed it down a bit.
Yeah.
So he still looks like he could be a superhero in a comic book, but he doesn't look like
because Mr. Fantastic isn't super like Jack either, right? So yeah.
I mean, his whole power is stretching, which
exactly. But that's a great show. I can't wait to finish watching that. I think I also
for the first time the other day, which kind of stars Danny DeVito, and I kept thinking it was a movie between.
Sorry, what did you say?
The old Disney Hercules?
The animated Hercules?
Yeah, so I caught that. But I've never seen it.
I was like,
don't laugh.
No, it's not that. I just thought you were talking live action when you said Hercules.
No.
And then you said Danny DeVito. I was like,
no, because Danny DeVito plays Phil, but I basically thought that was an entire movie between, like, it felt like a movie between Charlie and whoever Danny plays on It's Always Sunny.
Oh.
If you think of it like
but
that,
the character looks just like Danny DeVito.
Yeah, it feels like
exactly
Frank and Charlie.
So it looks like Frank coaching Charlie, and basically Meg is the waitress. And if you think of it that way, the movie's nuts.
I need to rewatch Hercules, the Sunny in Philadelphia cut, where I'm visualizing them.
Just think of it, rewatch and think of that. It's not. It's crazy.
That sounds great. We really need someone to animate that. I wish we knew animators. Anyone out there knows an animator that wants to like draw a still for us of just that? That sounds crazy.
That's pretty funny.
There's a new show called Cruel Summer that I watched. That's fucked up. And if you guys want to watch 13 Reasons Why without a suicide, watch this show. That's what it feels like.
Really?
Yeah,
Netflix?
Dude. No, I think it's on Freeform.
Oh,
the old Disney. What's it called?
Yeah. Okay, I know Freeform's not the most popular, but they put out some really random shows sometimes that you're just like, what is this? And then you watch the first 2 episodes, you're like, yo, this is way deeper than it's supposed to be for kids. Why is this so deep? So many
interesting.
Layers. There's too many layers. Like you're watching and you're just like, this is too many layers.
Kevin Smith's daughter's on it.
Yeah, Harley Quinn. Yeah, she played. This is another one who's acting chops.
Her name's actually Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn Smith.
Yeah, he named her Harley.
Fuck it. Anyways, go on.
It's not as bad as what's it called? Nicolas Cage named his son Kal-El.
I like Kal-El though.
Yeah, I actually know.
Yeah, that's
I
all right.
a girl named Kal-El.
Yeah, I know Kal-El.
Yeah.
And it also depends on how you pronounce it, because some people will say Kal-El.
Yeah.
Or
if you go hard and do like the K-A-E-L,
exactly.
I'm doing that for sure.
Oh shit! Okay,
it's like a pimp named Slipback. You say the whole thing.
Were you listening?
Okay.
Okay, all right. I was like, what a way to come full circle on everything.
That was insane. He's like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh my god,
that was crazy.
To be honest, what are you talking about?
Wait, seriously?
Seriously, I wasn't listening. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. No, we were talking about Cat Williams earlier, and then Pimp named Slickback.
I'm not playing. I'm really not playing.
He said he's not
you
playing.
didn't hear anything we said earlier in the show where we talked
about it all. I was thinking about a pimp named Flipback today.
Oh,
no
shit.
way. Shut up.
That's funny. We did a whole thing and talked about a pimp named Flipback. So that's
I was thinking about my kid's name, and if I named my kid like the Duchess or some kind of shit like that, you would have to say the whole thing like a pimp named Flipback.
Hold on.
That might have to be
sounds like you have an eccentric
the Duchess. You have to say the whole
eccentric list of baby names here. You want to give us a couple of that?
No.
I know you're not allowed. I know it's not a thing.
But it's royalty. It's royalty.
Nice. Okay. I like it.
Okay. That's hilarious.
It's not royalty because that's Chris Brown's kid's name is royalty.
No, it's not that.
Okay, go ahead.
Guys, we got Geek News and Rumors. Oh, I wasn't trying to just change, but I don't know where we're going.
No, go ahead. Geek it.
Geek News and Rumors. Oh, that was... Whoa. Rewind. We got to redo that because I did that. Geek News and Rumors.
Hey.
Yeah.
You wild kids. We are... No, now calm down. Calm the fuck down. This trigger out here
Before we get into it, another stupid ass show that I watched, The Circle, the new season of The Circle. You guys remember when the pandemic started? And it was an influx of these weird Netflix reality shows.
I forgot about The Circle to the point where I'm almost like, wow, did this happen during the pandemic?
The very beginning of the pandemic.
Jesus.
This was exactly, yeah. So the second one came out, and my God.
It's bad. It's bad.
It kills me just how much, like, I watched the whole thing. I'm not going to lie. But
I mean, with the land,
it kills me just how much people are into putting all that stuff out there. You know what I mean? Like playing a catfish and, I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, watch it. It's fun though. I laughed my ass off.
We just got to notice that Jason Mewes from Jay and Silent Bob named his kid Logan. So since Logan and Harley Quinn.
I would listen. I've had tons of ideas of what I like comic book related that I would name my kid too. By the way, so.
Then I really can't tell you.
No, you probably shouldn't. But maybe we should cross-reference just in case.
So you don't have.
I've taken so many names, like boy.
All right, I always said that you're first anyway. So
true.
If you're first, you get dibs.
You get first dibs. Okay,
live people steal names out here. We'll go.
For sure. No, what I was gonna say is that I always said that if I ever had let's say I had twins, I'd want to name them like let's say they were boys. It's like Peter and Parker. So like when you call them, people are like, "What the fuck?" And you're like, "What? I'm calling my boys, Peter Parker. Get over here!" And fuck with people that way.
You stay away from Spider-Man. Do not do that to my favorite comic book character.
Too late.
I thought you were gonna say like Scott and what's Havoc's name?
Oh,
Alex. No. Scott and Alex. No.
Yeah, like I thought you were gonna say like Scott and Alex, and then if you have another kid, it's like Vulcan. It's like no, what? No. Sorry, kid, your name was picked before you were born.
Vulcan.
Scott, Alex, Vulcan. That's it.
No. It was just to see the people's reaction to be like, seriously, you name your kid that? I'm like, no, man, call my kids over. What the hell's your problem?
That's funny.
So iCarly fans grew up to be racist assholes. That's Geek News and Rumors.
How is that?
Hold on.
That's what makes you come back into the screen.
The reboots.
Say iCarly fans?
Yeah.
Oh,
because these are fans. Because I'll put it to you this way: if you're not a fan of the show, how do you even pay attention to know that they replaced one of the characters with a black girl? I'm not a fan of the show. I didn't know that the girl got replaced. Only fans pay attention to that stuff, and only fans would show up and start being racist as shit. Sorry, Skinny, hit us.
Which friend? The best friend that was the blonde one that was pretty much the star of the show, other than iCarly?
Sam, yeah. But Sam,
what the fuck you did that for? Of course people are going to be mad.
But Sam doesn't want to do the show anymore. Sam has gone as far as saying she didn't like doing the show in the first place. Like, how are people going to get mad this girl doesn't want to come back?
Wait, did they still call her Sam?
No. But, Carly has a new roommate, and the roommate is a black girl. People saw that said that they're replacing Sam. First of all, she's not even replacing Sam. She's a new character.
It's just a new character coming in.
Yeah, but people started going online and being mad racist and saying all sorts of nasty shit. And again, this can only be iCarly fans, because if you're not a fan of the show, you have no reason to care that there's a new black girl on the show. It's only the fans.
The show hasn't even aired yet, though.
No, exactly. These people just saw the pictures. Classic. Yeah, man. So, anyways, iCarly fans grew up to be racist assholes. So, y'all do better. Do better. If you watch iCarly, you know that iCarly wasn't about racism or hate. At least I don't think so. It was Nickelodeon, so I hope it wasn't. But, anyways, Michael J. White to launch Gigantic Studios in Connecticut, and Jai is spelled Jai. Gantic.
I like that.
I thought that was hilarious. Nods to him. I respect it. So that's cool. Kudos to him. I look to whatever projects he starts producing.
He's in that weird zone of like, I loved Michael J. White. Like, he's in that weird zone of action guys that were always sort of between A and B, more B than A. Right? Yeah. With like the Frank Grillo and the Tony Jaa. Like that. Yeah, and I always wanted him to do better, but they never actually got. Who plays Yuri Boyka from Undisputed?
Oh, okay.
Scott Adkins, another one who was on. Who was like, they're all like in that same realm of like I wish. And man, Tony Jaa and Grillo make the same. They're in the same movies together all the time now. Yeah. I'd love to see those guys just band together and just start killing it.
Oh, you know what they should do? They should make the like Expendables, but like the B-list Expendables.
Oh,
yo.
But like the losers vibes.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be sick. That'd be dope. I'd watch that.
I would watch that.
And knowing that they're all freaking martial artists too. I'd
watch Attack the Block 2 is in the works.
Why after so long?
Yo, man, when you're hot, why would you not go back to one of your favorite projects?
Is it John Boyega, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm John Boyega. I was a young kid. This was my first real hit of success. I went on. I got big. I did some pretty big projects. I don't feel like the big projects were nodded to or recognized or respected me the way they were supposed to. We've heard his conversations about Lucasfilm and all that stuff. So why don't I go back to the people that gave me my start with my fame now and bring it back?
Yo, that's crazy. You know what? I'll allow it.
You know who else is in that movie?
That was a favorite line from that movie. What's that?
Oh, yeah. Homeboy, Firestar from the CW, the black kid.
He's what? He's in it?
He's British, and he's in Attack the Block. He's one of the kids.
Really?
He's not British.
He is British.
No way. I don't remember even.
I know. What? Trust me. I was being shocked myself.
That's strange.
That's crazy. But yo, I remember when I first saw it, I was like, yo, I have to show this to all my friends. And every single person that came over my house, I sat there and I made them watch Attack the Block because I was like, yo, I don't even know what it is about it. It was Stranger Things before Stranger Things. It was like this weird movie about like kids in the British neighborhood, in the hood, and, you know, robbing and whatever it is, doing their everyday thing. And then it turned into this weird alien invasion. And I'm like, yo, but you get to meet.
And it was all practical effects.
Yes.
That's
like, and the aliens were well done. It wasn't so far-fetched. Like it was honestly perfect. Which is why I'm a little nervous. I'm like, I don't necessarily want to see a sequel.
Franz Drame is his name.
Yeah.
And he's a British actor.
Huh.
His film debut was in Clint Eastwood's fantasy drama Hereafter. He's also appeared in British film Attack the Block in 2014.
That's crazy.
And in the blockbuster Edge of Tomorrow. But yeah, man, I'm excited about it because I hope he comes back. It's like
no, I missed it.
Yeah.
Never mind. Don't repeat it.
No, do it.
It's black people versus aliens.
There you go. Wow. It's a British black Stranger Things with aliens, and that's it. There you go.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
Oh,
no offense to Stranger Things.
I imagine this.
Yeah. This was like 10, 15 years ago.
And it was 2014. Yeah. So it's like,
okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
No way, it was 2014. It was before that.
Am I wrong?
I think it was like 2011.
Probably.
Oh, sorry. Yes, he was in Edge of Tomorrow in 2014. You're right. It was before 2014.
Okay, because I was still in Montreal at the time.
2011.
So that's
2011. You're right. 2011.
Yeah.
My bad. So 10 years ago, exactly a decade. Wow. Well, dude, that's super exciting. Can you imagine if you got to revisit? Because again, like you said, you liked it so much. Wouldn't you want to know what happened 10 years later? That'd be kind of cool.
I guess.
As long as they don't screw it up, though.
Yeah.
Because did you ever see Boondock Saints 1 and Boondock Saints 2?
Right. The thing is, because we know what the end game was in the first one, like all of a sudden it turned into this weird alien epic. Am I expecting them to go back to that? Like, are the aliens back? Or you know what I mean? It's this weird like. And again, by the way, guys, that's not spoiling anything. The best part about Attack the Block is the relationship of like the kids. And like how they're surviving in their neighborhood and the characters you meet and the rapper.
And the teacher, isn't there like a teacher that's helping them?
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway,
what else do we got? Marvel announces a new Black Panther comic series from John Ridley. So if you guys are fans of the Ta-Nehisi Coates run. Ta-Nehisi? Oh, have I been pronouncing that man's name the whole time?
Yeah.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, Mr. Coates' run on Black Panther. He's going to be he's done his, and John Ridley, who worked on 12 Years a Slave, is going to be taking over. I've seen a lot of people say, so what, only black people can write Black Panther now? And I just like to point out, maybe for a bit, motherfuckers, because we didn't get to so long.
I mean, come on, man. There's so many.
Your boy Brian Michael Bendis is still out there writing every other black character, so leave us alone.
Oh, man.
Miles Morales, Naomi, everything this man puts out is a black character. Not to his respect, I'm not mad at it, but like, yo, let John Ridley write. Let Ta-Nehisi
write. I like that Alex Ross is going to be doing the first cover.
Yeah, man, that cover is beautiful. I love the way he draws Storm. Anyway, so that's going to be cool. It's coming out. People should check it out. Dumbass fuckface, Dan Harmon. Oh, sorry. That was rude.
Oh, Dan Harmon. What are we talking about, Dan Harmon?
What's an NFT mean? What's NFT?
Okay. Is someone going to explain NFT in this thing?
Oh, God, please. No.
I don't know every acronym. What's the problem?
Non-fungible tokens.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
What are non-fungible tokens?
Blockchain, dude. If we have to, if anyone is interested, this is not. We're nerds, but we're not those nerds.
Listen, there are a lot of things and a lot of trends and a lot of market things that I follow, but to these days, there's just so many random new coins and currencies and cryptocurrency that I just stopped fucking following.
But my thing is,
you, Dan Harmon. Even I'm.
Why is he making an NFT animated series for Fox, Disney? Let's be honest, Disney. What are you doing? What? How is this gonna hold out for an How do you?
But is it for Fox or is it for Disney? Disney doesn't own.
Disney owns Fox. Yes, they do.
No. They bought. Like Fox still exists as a separate entity. They still have like sports and shit. No,
that's owned by Disney.
That's also owned by Disney.
No. They bought the whole thing.
They bought the whole thing. But Fox News and Sports is separate. You're right. That is a separate division.
I thought that division was not bought.
Exactly.
That's what I thought.
That division was not bought. It's true.
Okay.
But Fox, when they start animated stuff, movies, Hulu, that's Disney. Disney still owns. Like when you see next season, like the playlist for pilot season that I've met for the upfronts this year, I wrote down like ABC brackets Disney, NBC brackets Universal, CBS brackets Paramount, and then Fox brackets Disney because it's still Disney.
Okay, but it's almost like we're Sorry, I'm reading on NFT. We're like inventing. We're just inventing value.
Yep. Yes, that's
correct.
Yo, I'm not mad at cryptocurrency. If you guys want to, if it like, yeah, well, you're an accountant, so you lived and breathed real money. But hey,
real money.
Dave,
what's real?
Dave,
right?
exactly.
They bring that.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
When they separated the value of the U.S. dollar from the gold in Fort Knox, and the money, the currency of the U.S. dollar became a concept instead of the actual equivalent of the gold they had, that was the moment that we could no longer say a dollar is worth this because it wasn't tied to anything. That was the one thing. Every currency in the world was based on the U.S. dollar because it was based on this gold. This gold is valued at this. This dollar is that amount, and that's it. And then they took that away, and that's fine. They were changing, and that's okay. But that changed the whole game. And I'm sure I'm not doing this justice because there's a lot more information. But cryptocurrencies, NFTs, blockchain, crypto TV shows, Fox, I don't know what you're doing. I hope it makes sense. Dan Harmon, you suck. Going on.
Let's move on.
I agree.
RB and Bilal Fallah, the two who worked on Bad Boys for Life, are going to be directing Batgirl for the WB. That's pretty crazy.
Like the movie?
Like Barbara Gordon?
Yep, Barbara Gordon Batgirl movie.
Huh.
I was wondering. I was just waiting for the silence. I was like, okay, let's see what the okay.
I'm down. I don't know if I can be mad at it because we've gotten so many stupid attempts at Batwoman, Batgirl that I'm surprised actually.
There's nowhere but up, really.
Yeah. You're right about that, man.
There's nowhere but up. Yeah, maybe that has to be the title.
It can't sink any lower than there.
There's nowhere but up.
Who's do we have an actress?
I don't think so. I don't know, man. This project has gone through so many fingers. At one point, Roxanne Gay was lobbying them to write it for them, and DC replied to her and said, okay. And then now I don't know what's going on. I don't feel like anyone's really focused on Batgirl. And that's one of the
and like the last Batgirl we got was in that terrible Batman movie with George Clooney. So I would hope Alicia Silverstone.
When what's his name? Schumacher was like, yes, finally, I have a girl to do the scene of like showing off all the body parts.
Oh, stupid.
I didn't know Schumacher started off as a fashion designer.
Schumacher's a fucking moron.
It shows. He made the nipples.
Hate on Dan Harmon.
He made the nipples decision.
Hey, for you.
That was a fashion statement.
That guy could go to hell. He literally went and told the actors on set, "Don't take this serious. It's a comic book movie. Fuck you."
Oh yeah, did that happen?
He literally said that.
It was 1990, dude.
It doesn't matter. It's Batman, motherfucker.
It was 19.
And no, it wasn't. It was like 1998. It was later.
That's crazy.
That was great.
I mean, and he had two dark movies first. What the fuck is it?
I'm sorry. That was so good though. Skinny just like it was 1990s, Dave.
I am curious to see how this turns out. I mean, I'm down with the Barbara Gordon movie. We never really had a Barbara Gordon story, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
So, that would be new, right? So
and then we have a whole bunch of HBO Max news that came out today. Batman animated series that goes back to its noir roots for HBO Max and Cartoon Network, and a Superman animated series starring Jack Quaid, who is the lead guy on The Boys, coming to HBO Max and the Cartoon Network. We're outside in the brick. And you're muted.
Wait, who's going to be voicing Batman?
Yeah, it's supposed to. I don't know who, but they didn't announce it. But apparently, it's going to be related, like. The Batman animated series is apparently going to relate to the Batman animated series from when we were kids, but the Superman series seems to be potentially its own thing and not
Superman
related.
Animated series is a completely new thing.
Yeah, because even the title's different.
Yeah,
interesting. Okay,
and I don't even think
Kevin.
Say what?
No, I was like Kevin Conroy, but
well, you never know. Maybe they'll try and bring. He is one of the most popular, recognizable voices.
Cool.
But if last thing before we go, DC announces Injustice animated movie. So you know how they've been those animated films. Oh, Skinny, why? Why that? You made such a sad face just now.
They're going in their lane. They're not doing live people. They're staying in their lane. They're doing.
They don't have a lane. They
do have a lane. That's not getting on fucking live TV.
Yeesh, they just
or movies.
Why do you think they're going animated with this?
Come on, Skinny, hit us. I know why.
Oh, I don't know. Probably because like Dave, they probably think we really can't screw this up.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way, guys. We already made a video game. It's right there.
Yeah. Honestly, that's my opinion. That's the same thing. I think they're very much going to be like, they're going to look at the people who wrote the video game and be like, hey, can you come here?
Yeah.
Hey, kid, come here.
That's perfectly described.
Write down what you wrote, but better.
Yeah. It just again, you need to mix the animated people with the video game guys and just forget live action. Honestly, I'd be so happy if they don't do live action for the next 10 years.
Like, y'all own Image Comics. Just be rid of all of Batman and all of them for like 10 years.
Wait, who owns Image Comics?
Doesn't DC own Image?
No, Wildstorm. They bought Wildstorm,
which is a derivative of. Okay, where did Wildcats live?
So Wildcats
live in DC.
Was part of Image, but when Jim Lee was the one who created Wildcats, he sold his because it was independent comics. He sold it to DC, which upset everyone at Image because they were supposed to be working together. So DC owns that part. But they don't own the rights to the other Image stuff.
So so they own Wildcats, but they don't own Youngbloods and so on. Just Wildcats.
Is that the same universe? Anything that Jim Lee worked on?
It's technically the same universe since Rob Liefeld did Youngbloods, and then they kind of were crossing over with Youngbloods and Wildcats.
We would have to check. You might be right, because I just know that Jim Lee sold his stuff, and then, so they owned his part.
Because you legit have a solid story and great characters with Zealot and Grifter and and Spartan and a bunch of backstory. Just do the fucking Wildcats. Leave Batman, Superman, all of them alone. Just don't touch them. Leave them alone.
But they can't, right?
They can. Well, DC as much as we would lose their shit, yes, but
yeah.
Even they gotta admit that it's not going good right now, man.
I don't. The problem, dude. I saw the comments for the Snyder Cut. I don't think that they're going away anytime soon.
I use Tick as my counter for DC fanboyism, and you're right. They're not, because the excitement he got from that movie, and I'm just like, really, bro? But yeah, no, DC fanboys, you can't kill them.
No.
But you know what the problem with DC though is? It's the fact that they won't allow the B team to become an A team, kind of like how Marvel was kind of forced to do it.
But I don't think that's the fans.
No, that's executives.
If you have the rights to every single character you've ever owned and you've never had to buy them back from anyone, you know, it's hard to. And your B team was never promoted. Your B team never.
Sorry, Toby, you just made the most fucking valid point.
Yeah,
you've never lost your A. You didn't lose anything. And you still keep putting out crap. These guys lost their A and figured out how to turn the B into A's.
Only through adversity do we discover who we truly are.
They made $1 million character out of a tree that says 3 words and a friggin' raccoon.
Dude, right?
A friggin' raccoon.
When your back is against the wall and you have to figure it out in a different way, you come up with. I guess DC just needs to feel that pressure.
Seriously,
but that's it.
They have to make a vault and put certain people in that vault for a while.
They can't do that. They're never going to do that.
Honestly, I would do the DC Warner vault. You know how Disney does the vault and moves some of their movies in every once in a while? Put the damn Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern.
It's crazy.
Bring up Green Lantern. Bring up the Teen Titans. Do them properly. When they did
Martian Manhunter, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Guys, we're gonna come to an age where they're gonna do that with the Marvel movies. Be like, hey, Iron Man 2 is going in the vault. You're never gonna be able to stream it at all.
They did it so freaking well. Like, I'm okay with what Marvel's doing. Like, they tell the stories intelligently. They mix it into the lore intelligently to the point where, like, you don't need more than what they're giving you.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what, though? Sidetrack to what Skinny was saying inadvertently. You know what? Let's do Image. Let's do, like, Image. Like, Invincible, cool. Savage Dragon, let's figure that out.
Jupiter's Legacy was probably the biggest.
That was Image too?
Yeah, it's Image.
Oh, wow.
It's not connected. It's not connected to the universe.
It's not connected to the same universe.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
That's probably the only. I wish it was done better. It's still good. Again, I still recommend to watch it because it's done differently than what you're used to from different action hero shows. Yeah, but yes.
If you want to watch a 6-episode
this guy keeps leaving. Invincible is Image, right?
Like excellent.
Kick-Ass is Image.
What was that villain comic that was part of Image? He dressed in all white.
Nemesis. That would be amazing. I would love to see a movie about Nemesis.
Amazon, make Nemesis. Do it next year.
Yeah, man. Nemesis needs to be rated RR. Like
100%.
We're not even talking like rated. I mean, dude, I can't even.
We just
100-man battle,
100 people in a train. Like, I think we're okay.
Yeah, you're right. No, that's true. I
think we're okay.
Points to Skinny because because there's nothing that Nemesis does that's worse than what Omni-Man did with Mark's head.
Hey, what do you want for dinner? I was thinking Subway.
Yo, that is the best.
That meme.
That meme is wonderful.
Who said Spawn? They've been talking about Spawn for 5 years.
He's working on it, isn't he?
They have to fix Spawn. That's 100%.
Todd McFarlane's working on it. He said he's bringing it back.
Yeah, like his toys. They're going to be great quality. Yes.
No, are his toys not good?
No, they're not good. They're bad. They're really bad. And
really? I don't know anything.
He has the full rights to making DC characters, and my man's been making Dark Knight Metal for a full year.
Yes, I heard that.
All Dark Knight Metal characters for a full year.
Cheap? Is it cheap quality or is it just?
They're the cheapest toy line out right now. They're all 7-inch scale. They don't have ankle rockers. They barely have ab crunch. They don't have double elbow anything. No double jointed knees. It's pretty bad.
I would just like to point out to anyone listening, I have no clue what Skinny just said, but I respect that.
Yeah,
articulation was terrible. That's all I'm
They
saying.
can't do this.
I figured Skinny was talking articulation, but the fact that my boy knows every word,
I should be working for them. I'm telling you.
You started saying something ab crunch, and I was just like, I understand what he's talking about, that they can bend forward, but my brain is saying, how does he know that shit?
Yeah, it's weird.
I would like to see them do a spin-off of Kick-Ass though, and focus more on Hit Girl, because I think that's a more
as a movie franchise.
Yeah. That'd be
even as a show.
I'd watch a Hit Girl related.
Yeah, because she ends up in like Colombia and South America doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like she really goes deep, and that's interesting.
Yeah, we should do Wildcats.
Yeah, they won't.
Wildcats.
That won't happen for years. The old guard that Netflix botched so hard was Image too, by the way. Anyway, I'm done with.
Yeah.
Netflix hasn't really.
I wish Image could start their own production company.
I think at this point they need to stay away from Netflix maybe, and kind of stick to Amazon. Amazon seems to be doing them well, so that should be their HBO.
Yeah, like that's it. I think they need to have a partnership agreement with someone,
just exclusive,
and just work out solid stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm sure someone's working on it because that's the thing though. Image Comics is a decentralized, like there's no owner. It's not one owner. They're all
they all have their own Top Cow, Liefeld, your Spawn guy. I forget his name again. He has his own
Harlot,
but they're also like the third, right? It's like Marvel, DC, then Image,
and Boom Studios.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Shout outs to Boom Studios. That's the whole thing, guys. That's the whole 249, baby, in the bank.
Episode 249. That's nuts.
So we're not here next week.
Yeah. I'm on vacation.
Yeah, we're here June 2nd. If y'all are watching, expect an invitation to the event. We're going to create an event. We're going to invite y'all to it, and y'all should get ready. Some of y'all might be even asked if you want to jump on and say hi, because we're going to have some of y'all jump into the green room, come through and say what's up. And man, we're really excited. This has been kind of crazy. I was just working on the back end of the podcast on Apple. And I was looking back, and Apple archives the episodes for us because our RSS feed only has the last 55 episodes. So what Apple does is it archives past episodes, which is cool. I didn't even know they did that. And I can go in to the Apple, our Apple connection, and listen to the archive because it's just saved on Apple. And I was just, that's wild. And I could download it, which was even crazier. I'm like, these motherfuckers are just archiving,
just saving it in a vault for us like that.
Dude, that's first crazy. Episode that we have in the RSS feed, which was 2017, when we switched over from the radio station to switch over to here.
I wonder why I haven't gone back. You know, I don't really go back to listen to shows much.
I was listening to it. It was kind of funny because it's like you on the phone. So it's just weird. It's just like the sound quality is just like
wowzers. That's crazy. Wow. That's when you really think about it, we've there's definitely been some huge technological improvements in our short.
It's called digivolving.
Digivolving. But yeah, we might put out maybe our first episode from 2017 as a gift next week. So
that's crazy. Oh my God.
Jesus, what kind of reckless shit is I doing?
What were we even talking about in 2017? That's crazy.
I didn't get past us at the beginning, but it was just funny to be like,
it was that bad, eh? All right.
No. Oh shit. But yeah, man, it's been a while ride. Oh God.
That should be our new drop. Whenever we say or do something, just push that button and have Chris Tucker go, "Is this what you want?"
Actually, seeing how Joe Budden shit is over, we could totally steal sound effects now.
There you go.
Let's do
it. We didn't talk about it this week, but that dude is, man, I'm not paying attention to him no more.
Yeah, he's on an apology tour right now.
Yeah, he has to because he's been accused of sexual harassment.
What?
I didn't even know. Oh, God.
He got accused by one of the girls on on the first show he added to his network.
How'd you already leave a show that just started 2 months ago?
2-3 months ago.
What kind of shit is that?
And then the apology isn't even an apology. He's like explaining, I was trying to create a vibe. It's like, dude, stop.
You're trying to create a vibe.
I tried to create a vibe. I wanted an orgy.
I got to that part of it and I just pressed stop. I was like, nah, I tried, Joe. I can't. I don't respect you anymore. I'm sorry. I don't respect you.
That's tough. This is a PR nightmare.
Yeah. He's probably not going to go anywhere, though, because in his head, he doesn't think he did anything wrong. And no one seems to be telling him, you screwed up.
Yo, I'm really going to go and watch Money Talks, Devin. I swear to God. Now that we've talked about it so much, I think I could actually pop that into that and go to sleep watching Money Talks.
I haven't seen that in a minute. I think I should rewatch that. Guys, that's the whole show. Anything you guys want to say to the people before we bounce this week?
Do you understand the words? No, I'm kidding. I'm done with my Tucker. I'm done. I can't do that one. I can do the exactly. I gotta get it out of my system. It's also it's bedtime for me too right now. Bedtime.
8:21. Grandpa Toby.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
Yo, y'all don't understand the words coming out of his mouth? Anyways,
250, we here. We're here for another 250.
Like, listen, when we get to this point where I'm saying random shit, we're delirious. It means it's time to end. Exactly. Just push the button.
We out. Thanks y'all for tuning in. We'll be back for 250 on June 2nd. Make sure you stay connected on all our socials at Geektastic Cypher. Y'all know the vibe. We out. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in. Deuces.